Welcome back to another episode of Because I Feel Like It. This is your boy Nelson, and I'm here today to break down what is going on with the Buffalo Bills. As you see, man, I got my chain on, so even in defeat, I'm still a loyal fan, and hopefully, all my Bill Mafia's fans is hanging in there. Remember, although we break tables, we flip them too. Oh man, these last 2 weeks for the Buffalo Bills has been a disappointment. It's been an eye opening, and it's been a wake up call. I know Sean McDermott is trying to gather his troops back up. Of course, it's a 17 game season, and so being 4-2 is not bad, but the way it's happening is it's a head scratcher. So but shout out to all my crew, man. We got Art, we got Swerve, Marcus, Aaron Anthony, because I feel like it, and we are looking for a female analyst as well, a female personality to come on too. So please come on out. But man, what is going on with the Buffalo Bills? If you saw the game just recently in Atlanta, it, it was not a pretty sight to see. Now I'm going to go over some stats. I'm going to go over some injury lists. I'm going to go over some things I think the Bills should do. As a fan, I know of the NFL. If you love football and you're loyal to a team, you know the ins and outs, and you know exactly what you see from a fan perspective. If you're a football guy, see from a football perspective, and then all my coaches out there, you put the coach hat on. And so let's get into it. So what's wrong with the Buffalo Bills? We are thin on defense, man. I mean, uh, my gosh, if you looked at Atlanta, their receivers were dominating the game, and their run game was just slashing us. It didn't matter if we had a four-man front. It didn't matter if we had a three-man front. It didn't matter if we have six in the box. It was just disaster all the way around. And I know the key note of that is with our linebackers, and then I know our DBs are always thin. That's always an issue. Seem like over the years for Buffalo, it's our third level, is our secondary is always little hiccups in there. We got rid of some old veterans, and we brought in some new guys. We got some draft picks in the first round, defensive guys. But man, I could have ran through the holes that Atlanta was producing up front. So just to kind of give you perspective on the the defense of the Buffalo Bills, and it's kind of sad to say, but they're ranked 30th. Okay, 30th. Okay, there's only 32 teams in the NFL when it comes to defense. 324 points allowed. Okay, I mean yards allowed. Sorry, 324 point in a decimal. 324 yards allowed. Okay, so if you think about it, so you can have 100 passing, 100, 150, and that's just not good. If the defensive coordinator, I know he's shaking his head, but what can you work with? When your star linebackers hurt, both of them, and you're just thin. So I'm just gonna go down this list, okay? I'm gonna go down this list, and I'm going to just name these names. And you got Terrell Bernard, okay, which is an amazing linebacker. He was one of the leading tacklers. You got Milano. Okay, Milano's been there for a couple years now, and Milano is the heartbeat of that defense. He is hurt. Okay, Matt Milano, and then you got some other defensive guys that contribute. Okay, of course our defensive front. Oliver, I'm sorry, Oliver's on offense, but Oliver is a key contributor, and then we got other guys that are just banged up, man. On the offensive side, we got Khalil Secure, who was banged up. Alec Anderson, who's our backup O lineman, he's banged up. So we thin even on the O line. So there's a lot. We could just go through the injury report. It's a laundry list of guys who are hurt. Now, in football, the phrase goes, "The next man up." But when you're playing in the NFL, man, it's wear and tear. So we're only in week 7, going into week 7, and our IR list is just way too long. Um, and I know there's no excuses, because these guys are professionals. These guys get paid millions of dollars. And please believe me, if I'm a coach, hey man, we paying you, and this is your job, right? So I can't go to my work and say, hey, I'm tired. I just did a 12-hour shift and I can't produce. They're gonna look at me like, okay, so you're not gonna be here long. You need to get the measurements down. You need to, get your production up. So you're right. You're probably saying all my NFL fans, there's no excuse, right? But this is what really concerns me. It's not just the injury list, because this injury list is on every team. Okay, you can go down, from the top tier to the bottom of the list. Okay, this injury list is pretty long, right? Especially with the rookies, they come into the league, and then there's that curve of, okay, these guys are stronger than the college guys. Okay, right? So you gotta come across that learning hump. But what the thing about is that you have a leader in Josh Allen. Okay, a leader in Josh Allen, who got the MVP last year. There was a lot of argument about Lamar Jackson was supposed to get it over Josh Allen, and it was like, okay, that was a simp move, right? They gave it to Josh Allen because, hey, but it was impact, right? This year we started off hot. Okay, so I'm gonna go down this list, and I know I'm gonna get some flack for this, because it's like, well, you played these teams up to week 6, you didn't really play nobody. So of course, come into the season, the Ravens were Super Bowl bound. Okay, I don't care what they are now. I know they only won one game, and all the injury lists they have. Right, you can look at their bench, and pretty much all the starters are sitting there watching the game. Okay, key starters. Right, so we beat them 41-40. All right, then we got the Jets. All right, now the Jets, they stink. They need to just sit down and sit in the corner with a cone on their head. Okay, we beat them 30-10. Then the Dolphins, week 3, we all know that's NFC East, I mean AFC East, and we pretty much owned them for years. So 31-21. And then we played the Saints, okay? 31-19. Okay. So as you see the pattern here, and I'm gonna go to week 5 and week 6, but as you see the pattern here, we putting up a lot of points on offense, but we're allowing points on defense. 21, 40, okay, 19. Okay, so it seems like we've been it's a shootout, right? It's a shootout every game, right? It's a shootout, and then we're going to score more points than you, but we're going to allow points. Okay, and then week 5, we played our rivalry, that who owned us for years when Tom Brady was there. The Patriots. Vrabel got those guys believing in themselves. And that's a good squad, man. Like in a couple years, I'm gonna say the Patriots will be up there, but we are still king of the AFC East. We lost to them 23-20. There was a lot of things about that game, that could have went our way. But it's just, how the chips fall in the NFL. Sometimes you lose by a field goal. And then of course, just recently, we lost with, and it wasn't like we were in this game. If you look at it, we got beat up pretty bad by the Falcons. I remember watching it right at halftime. It was 21-7. And I don't know what cover 3 does. I don't know what zone they were in, because of the angle. But it's just, it pissed me off that the Atlanta Falcons, with less than 40 seconds left, drove down the field, and if it wasn't for the Atlanta Falcons, London, if it wasn't for his foot going out of bounds with his red cleat, if it wasn't for the white paint and the red cleat, if his foot going out of bounds, they would have been up 21-7. And I thought that was just a piss poor effort when it came to the defensive call, when it came to that last drive. Don't get me wrong, Penix is a great quarterback, a lefty, okay, and he dissected, but he could tell he's young. He had one pass that kind of went over the cover two corner, and he wanted to place it in the soft zone with the safety coming down, but he just missed that pass. But you could tell, with a little more time and some more games underneath his belt, he's going to be a great receiver for the Atlanta Falcons. And so the next couple games we have coming up, we have the Panthers. We're at the Panthers, and that's the thing with our run game, our rushing. It's scary because the Panthers' run game. Chris McCaffrey is gone, but they have another guy there that has been lighting up the field. So the Panthers' run game scares me. And then you got our kryptonite, our nemesis. I'm sorry, our our Chiefs, right? We already know about the Bills and Chiefs, right? We seem like we can't get past the Chiefs. We got them week 8, and then we got the Dolphins. Okay, it seems like we have their number, right? Tyreek Hill is out. But they got Whittle. They got still got Tua Tagovailoa. But he's a head case away. I'm sorry. He's a man needs to think about his kids because one more concussion. I'm sorry. Please give that man his pension plan. Give him his walking papers and just think about his health. And then this is going to be a tough game against the Buccaneers because everybody right now is on that Baker Mayfield train. There's been shouts of MVP. There's been, the man is playing great football right now. You got to give it up to him. He's fiery, he's spunky. He has attitude when he plays, and that's what you want as a leader, as a quarterback. And then you got C.J. Stroud and the Texans. It's always defensive minded coach. It's always a tough win in the Texans stadium. And then you got Aaron Rodgers in his seasonal. I'm calling him season because the man is in his 40s now. We got them in week 10. So what's wrong with the Buffalo Bills? Here's the thing. When I saw Josh Allen versus the Atlanta Falcons, it reminded me of the Josh Allen of old. Okay, Josh Allen, yes, he can use his feet. He can get out of the pocket. He's a mobile quarterback. The man is near 6'5", 6'4". Okay, he's tough to bring down, right? But he has a little bit of that gunslinger. Okay, when he played against the Atlanta Falcons, he reminded me of the Josh Allen of old. Kind of rushing his throws. The interceptions was just uncalled for, especially that last one. He kind of like threw it up as it was like a lollipop, just kind of threw it up and just hoping someone catch it. Kind of like a careless throw. So I think Josh Allen needs to regroup. Please get that stigma off of you from last year. I know you're doing the commercials now. You got the MVP love. You got the respect of your peers. But hey, man, calm down. Okay, relax. Now, granted, is receiver by committee, and I know he loves going to his tight end. So Dalton Kincaid is out, and Secure is questionable, but he's recovering from an ankle sprain. All right, so and then we don't have that key receiver. Okay, yeah, we got Coleman, Keon Coleman. Okay, he's an addition. He was our rookie last year, but there's nobody of the elite status of a Diggs or a I'm sorry, Diggs is in the Patriots, and he served us up. Let me get now. I'm gonna give credit when credit's due. Stephon Diggs had vengeance in his heart against us when we played the Patriots. Okay, so but I think with Josh Allen,
the Bills suck.
As my son comes in and says, perfect timing. He's a Baltimore Raven fan. I don't know how that happened, but but the thing about Josh Allen is that he can't carry this team by himself. He has a running back in James Cook that needs to be used. Okay. The man is only averaging 89.5 yards a game. Okay. I know can catch out of the backfield, but we can throw some screens to him. He can catch the ball out of the backfield, do an arrow route, have him go do some streaks. Like utilize your backfield. Okay. And I'm gonna say this as a former running back. Okay. There's a X amount of carries you get per game. Okay. Now there's the exceptional. There's the King Henrys, right? There's guys who just get the ball 20 to 25 times a game. Right now, I did the average. James Cook is only getting the ball 17 times a game, but that is on a slant because sometimes that can vary. Okay. Now it seems to me that Sean McDermott wants Josh Allen to carry this team. Okay. But the thing is, you have to realize Josh Allen, once you have a defense, okay, because think about this, okay, as a coach, you have to swap film, okay. Once you figure out Josh Allen doesn't like pressure, okay. Once you figure out that Josh Allen, he gets rattled sometimes, okay, especially when things don't go his way, and he starts throwing the ball all willy nilly, okay, and defenses know that, okay. When Josh Allen played Atlanta Falcons, he looked like the Josh Allen of old, not the MVP. That's one thing that I think is wrong with the Buffalo Bills. Stop just relying on Josh Allen. Okay, utilize your backfield. Okay, let's get creative on our offensive calling. Okay, now our special teams, they're great, but we got guys hurt. Okay, so that means you got to take guys from defense, your second and third guys, right, and put them on, right? Guys that haven't played that many snaps, right? But then they got to put their work in on special teams. Then you got to find the rotating. All right, you got to find that package when it comes to defense, right? But who are you going to put in as a defense coordinator? Who can I trust? Okay, and then you got the vocal leader Milano who is not there. Okay, you got the pursuer and Terrell, right? Getting all the tackles, flying to the ball, right? And then the script was written for us a couple years ago with Damar Hamlin, right? Now he's hurt. Okay, so it's like the heartbeat and the pulse of the Buffalo Bills is starting to it's starting to get a little heavy. Okay, the pressure's coming on. Okay, because we're going to play teams that are winning. Okay, surprisingly, the Panthers are over 500. Okay, and their run game is sick. Okay, and then you got the Buccaneers. Okay, so I'm looking at this next couple games, and we could easily go out of this 2-4. Okay, the Chiefs, the Buccaneers, the Texans. Okay, I mean we can go three for three. Okay, and then that just doesn't leave us going into November with the swing. I know in the NFL, it's about when you get hot, right? Because everybody's like, well, it's September, yeah, October, okay. But then, teams start to mesh, teams start to gel when it comes to, getting the chemistry down with the receivers, getting the running back, getting him carry so he can, go through the tackles, right? A gap, B gap, reading that overflow, with the linebacker, with the pull. So it's just like there's time in football that needs to be had, right? Needs to be invested because everybody's in step, everybody's in sync. Once you get that rhythm down, then you get on a winning streak. Right now, we're on a losing streak. We lost two. Okay, like don't hit the panic button. Right? You see, my shirt is red. It's okay. It's not alert time yet, but there's little nuances that I see that the Buffalo Bills need to fix. Okay, so that is play calling. That's our defense. Okay, we couldn't tackle a soul when it came to the rushing of of Atlanta. Okay, like good backs that are like I think week one, King Henry, Derrick Henry had close to 200 yards against us. And what happens with the run game, right? What happens with the run game? It opens up the passing. Okay, once you drive it down for a good say 9 minutes and 54 seconds on offense, right, and you keep going through the tackles. You keep going over the guard, right? And you might do a slip screen, right? Then you keep pounding it once you get in the up in the red zone. That's wear and tear on those defensive ends because they're getting the offensive linemen are getting their hands inside, driving, getting pancakes. Okay, Jeff Saturday loves his segment because him and Swagoo, they talk about two things: pancakes and blocks. Okay, the big mollies up front, right? But we are thin. We are thin and we are very, very light, right? We are not a big team. The Eagles right now, everybody on the offensive line is over 300 pounds. We're not averaging that, right? If the tush push, like we were at 24% last year on the tush push. Okay, of course the number one, was the Eagles. Okay, we try to mimic what they did. Even Sean McDermott was saying that's not fair, but then we could do it, right? So you can't have it both ways, Sean. But like we have to, we need to reset, figure out our identity, because we know what Josh Allen's going to do. Utilize our backfield, get our guys off of our IR. Okay. Now, there's one thing to be injured, but the one thing to be hurt. So if you nurse an ankle injury, that's one thing. But if you have a like oblique injury, that's tough because it's the abdominal, right? Like that's tough. But hey, you're playing in the NFL. Okay, it's a physical game. Another thing I see with the the Buffalo Bills is that we get mediocre. Okay, it's like we think we can score more points than the next team. Okay, if you look at it, 41, 30, 31, 23, we think we can outscore them. But then when we run up on a good defense, we get stapled. Okay, and then Josh Allen gets a little rattled. I think Josh Allen right now knows that his receivers is by committee. Okay. And does he trust the receivers out there? There was a play against Atlanta Falcons where he literally threw the ball where the receiver wasn't. And I remember it because what happened was the receiver was doing a shallow route. And then Josh was trying to set him sit in the soft zone. So when you have, say, a cover 3, okay, you got deep thirds, right? But then the linebackers, they take their step to see if they run, and then they go back into their zone. So naturally, there is windows. Okay, this receiver in particular, he came across the middle, but he kept running to where the zone was, where the linebacker was, instead of sitting down in the middle. And Josh threw it. The ball hit the ground because Josh said, "Okay, I need you right here." Right? If that was secure, hey, I've been since football is 365, 24/7. Okay. It starts in OTAs, it even starts in summer. And these quarterbacks, trust me, they get in the league and they first thing they do is they get with their receivers and they get their timing down. So here's another aspect. I don't think Josh Allen trusts his receivers right now. He doesn't have the same guys every week. Okay. And then with the tight end, okay, this is the great sport of football, right? Because you got someone like a Kelsey, like a Kincaid, okay? The list goes on. It. Let's do a little history. Ozzie Davis, okay? You got guys who know how to block, shed off, and get open, right? That's the great thing about a tight end. They'll block, they'll run a screen, and they'll get open, okay? If you look at Travis Kelsey, he has lived in zone defenses. He has got his money's worth, right? He's been the groove, right? And he's literally found a window where Patrick Mahomes can find him, right? Because you got the say like you got the, and I'm getting football technical, right? And this is what's wrong with the Buffalo Bills, okay? Well, you don't have your core guy like a Kincaid, okay, where he's going to drive and move that linebacker, if it's man, out of the picture. And you have a post corner, right? And then you have a 5-yard out, right? And then you got the running back in the flats, all right, James Cook. He knows that Kincaid is going to be open, but Shakur over top of the third level with the 15-yard, it's like perfect harmony. But when you don't have your guys and you got backups, okay, it's tough to trust, right? You ever been outside playing with your son and he can't catch the ball, so you kind of like just throw it with a little bit of like a little hesitation. That's what I saw with Josh Allen when it came to playing for Atlanta. It was like he couldn't fully trust his progression because he knew those guys wasn't going to be in the right place. Okay, Sean McDermott, great coach. He has brung the winning back to Buffalo. Okay, Sean McDermott has put us in the playoffs. Uh, Most of the time he's been there, but he hasn't gotten over the hump. Kansas City, um, in other AFC games, whether it be this, that, or the third. Okay, but at some point you're gonna have to win. Now, but Sean McDermott is part of Andy Reid's coaching tree. Okay, because every coach that's been in the league for a while, they have OCs, DCs, offensive coordinator, special teams coach, quarterback coaches that that's underneath them. So Andy Reid knows Sean McDermott by heart. It's like knowing, it's like the teacher and the master. Okay, I mean, or the teacher and the student. Okay, I know what you're going to do. I know your tendencies. I know what you're going to play call. Third down and 4. You're going to run 9 out of 10 times. Fourth and 1. I know you're going to go for it, right? I know your tendencies, right? It seems like Andy Reid has Sean McDermott's number. Now, Sean McDermott actually played at the same school as Mike Tomlin, okay? And so, like, they were great football minds. But at some point, man, okay, as Bills Mafia, right, at some point, we got to figure it out, okay? I know we're loyal, and I've been a loyal fan for years, but let's get over the hump. Now, everybody brings up the 4 Super Bowl losses, okay, but AFC champs 4 years in a row, all right? All right, but we have to get over the hump. And this, what came off a great year, okay? And it seems like every time we lose or win, and I said this before, every time we win against Kansas City, we lose in playoffs. Same thing with Baltimore. They beat us during the season, then we beat them in the playoffs. Okay, so you think about it. This year we beat Baltimore. This season, what are we gonna do with the Chiefs? Right? We beat the Chiefs in what in week 8. Like, are we gonna lose to them? It's just a stigma that we gotta get away from. And we kicking our field goals, right? Our special teams. Special teams matter. As you see this year in the NFL, special teams has been wrecking shop, okay, making a big difference in the winning percentage, okay? Field goal blocks, punt returns, okay? Special teams matter. We have to spruce that up, all right? So just to kind of give you, I got some steps here, okay? Bills offense. See, we're number 3, okay? We're number 3 in total yards per game. So that's impressive, right? 32 teams, we're number 3. But then when it comes to defense, we're giving up 324. We're gonna round it up, 324 yards. And then our run defense, we're 30th. We can't win games. Like, eventually, teams are gonna run against us. We're light up front, we're light in the middle, and we're light in the secondary. Okay, I think the Bills need some more beef, man. We do. We need some more beef. Right? No excuse, but what more can you ask for when everybody's out? And we need to give Cook more carries. Okay, Sean McDermott. I would say if he doesn't the next year, I think Sean McDermott will be on the hot seat. Okay, as we know, You can have a great 10-year, okay? And the GMs, presidents, they start to look down and say, hey, we have to move on. Okay. Mike Tomlin's been with the Pittsburgh Steelers for almost 2 decades. Okay. And he's still there. But there's rumors like, and there's little whispers like, all right, so what are we gonna do? Okay, first round, second round, that's not good enough, right? We've been to the AFC in the last 3 or 4 years. We've been in the AFC Championship. We just can't get past the Chiefs. We beat the Ravens, right? And we look like this year the Ravens, the way they talking and where they going, they're not even going to sniff a wild card game. Okay, like the AFC East, I would say, I'm gonna be honest with you because you got to be true. The AFC East is probably the weakest, one of the weakest divisions in NFL. Okay, because you think about it, the Jets, please, they need to go. They could play a high school team and they'll struggle, right? Then you got Miami Dolphins. Yeah, they ain't doing it. They boo-boo. And then you got, they're coming alive, but they're not there yet. They got the New England Patriots. And then you got us, right? Think about it, right? NFC South. That might be the second, right? They're a little weak there because you got the Saints, okay? You got Atlanta Falcons, all right? Who else is down there? Carolina Panthers. So, like, there's some divisions that's just weak. Okay, I'm gonna straight up. Some divisions are weak, and with our next couple games, I don't know, man. I don't know. Once we nip this in the bud, get out of this funk, and we should beat the Panthers, right? But the Panthers have been playing good ball. Okay. The Panthers have been playing great ball. So this is one thing I don't get excited about as a Buffalo Bills fan. Like the beginning of the season, for me for years I have never got excited about the beginning of the season because I know how our pattern is. Okay, we have because we pretty much we played the Dolphins twice, the Patriots twice. Okay, and it's more of a I know those are guaranteed wins, right? Especially the Jets, right? But our strength of schedule, I will be honest with you, it's not as strong, right? So we get into the playoffs, So what is wrong with the Bills? What's going on with the Bills? We just need to tighten up. Get Josh Allen back to MVP status, right? Don't be scared of running the ball, but also don't put it all on your shoulders. Okay. Don't feel like you got to be a hero, right? Don't feel like you got to be Superman all the time. Okay. Let's start using James Cook. Okay. The man has a brother named Dalvin Cook. Okay. The all pro. Okay. James Cook has the same type of material, same type of pleather. Okay. He's from the same cloth. Okay. Give that man the ball. Okay. More than 10 times to 17 times a game. Okay. Right. He's not a bell cow like Derrick Henry, but he gets the job done. And when you have the run game going, it opens up the passing game. Our defense, please get healthy. Our defense, once again, please get healthy. We have 2 key linebackers out. The heartbeat of the defense right now, which is our Mike linebacker, is Matt Milano. Okay. Our defensive guys up front, please get healthy. Okay. We need more time. No panic button here. Bills Mafia. We don't need to go, have the meeting inside the Italian restaurant and we thinking about knocking off, we don't need that right now, right? This cool our horses, right? We don't need to go out and order 15 more tables to jump from a 15-foot ladder and jump down. All right. We good. We good. What's wrong with the Bills? We just need to tighten up. We need to regroup. Okay, and let's not put it all on Josh Allen. Okay, because he has nothing to lose. He got his MVPs, and it seemed like when he got the award last year, it was like, okay, I'm cool, but I want to win, and we know he wants to win, right? You could tell. He after the game, he took ownership of it, right? We need to do this, we need to do that, right? He says all the right things, but you can tell he has like a little twitch to him, like that quick, like, what do I do? Like, you could tell he gets a little sporadic. We're going to make the playoffs this year. Yes, I'm saying it now, and we're going to week 7. Okay, that's not what I'm worrying about. I'm just worrying about Sean McDermott gathering his groups back up and refocusing. Make sure our IR and our pup list is short. Okay, get these guys healthy, so we can be at 100%. Okay, man. Please, also, when you're watching this, comment below, and stay loyal to your fans. Don't switch it up. Don't be like Cameron and become an Eagles fan. Okay, you stay with your team. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Stay loyal. We're gonna keep bringing you content. We're gonna keep bringing you great shows. Everybody was just at work tonight. Luckily I wasn't. So I'm on here talking about my Bills, you know what I'm saying? Bills Mafia. And the holiday season coming up too. All right. You know what I mean? So, happy holidays. We got, the turkey day coming up. So, get with your family, get with your friends, and enjoy some good football, man. Enjoy some good football. Tomorrow's Thursday night, so you won't see us tomorrow night. But definitely the Bills will be fine. What's going on with the Bills? We just gotta tighten up. All right. Just got to tighten up. All right. Get these guys off the injury list. I'm going to go down, man, because these guys are out. Right? These guys are out. Hey, give me that paper, son. That's my son, Gavin, guys. These guys are out. Okay. So we got Terrell Bernard. He's out. Matt Milano. Curtis Samuel, who's our receiver. He's a great down the field, our deep threat. Dalton Kincaid, right? Iron Fist. And then we got Joshua Palmer, who's questionable. Okay. It's like little nicks, like, ankle, but the abdominal, you got it, that's tough. But like little nicks and bruises, okay. But we got to get back healthy on the field. All right. You got anything, Gavin, you want to say about my Bills? Because you came down here.
Suck.
They're 4-2, man. Your Ravens are like 1-5, right? Yeah. So peace. See you later. It's bedtime. But yeah, man. This is because I feel like it. Make sure you like and subscribe.
And subscribe.
Make sure you like and subscribe, and we definitely going to bring you some good stuff, man. My boy Swerve, Marcus, Art, Anthony, everybody, man. So, all right, until next time, I'll catch you next.